Good morning, Poserverse. Um, Back working on the multi-figure. You might not recognize this scene, but it's actually a little sub-scene inside of the ginormous multi-figure composition that I'm creating for the PW Cliff House. You can see here we've got like a zoom-in shot, and to give you the context for what that is, it's this. So you see, if I take that, lots of times it makes it a little hard to see in the preview. You can see that I've created this little camera. Actually, I realize now that you're not seeing it because this image is very blown out. Sorry about that. Let me sort this for you. Here we go. So now, right in here is the area. Let me describe it because I realize you're not seeing my cursor. So, just trying to think here if there's a way I can actually show you the cursor. Guess not. Let me describe it to you. In the upper, the middle right portion, you see the mermaid. And if you look down to her left hand, you'll see a little tiny figure that's actually a boat. And the cool thing about that is I'm probably going to adjust that position because you can't pick it out right now. But we're getting into building up the tiny scenes that are going to be... I do actually need to see this with the light on this main camera here. So I'm going to turn that light on temporarily for positioning purposes. But anyway, I have this motorized boat with my character in it, and I need to kind of bind the camera, the zoom in camera, so that it goes with it. It moves with it because I've already set up the DOF and all that. So what I want to do from here, if I have this, once again, go to the camera that I need to actually adjust. There, this is the camera. So I made it unselectable and I locked it, which was a problem because I want to unlock just the light. I don't want to be able to move any of the position, but turning the light off and on. You know what? It did not. Let me do this. I'll unlock everything. And for now, I'll just leave the light on. It doesn't make a huge... Unlock selected properties. Unlock selected properties. And now we'll just turn that on. For whatever reason, that's not working. Okay, still remains locked. That's frustrating. What we can do is just create a duplicate from this, and we'll just call this main perspective cam, and it should allow me to turn the light back on. Yeah, as you get into these complicated camera setups, sometimes you can run into this problem. So main perspective cam, there we go, lights on now. Cool, problem solved. Alright, so now you see this boat is too close to her hand, right? When we jump over here to the Maggie boat cam, you see that's kind of where it's at, but which looks great here, but in the bigger composition, you're not going to actually see it because you're just going to kind of see the mermaid. So what we want to do is just move it out a little bit. Now I may or may not be adjusting this this whole scene so that you see more of that, but as of right now, that is interesting. Because if I turn this on, let's just see what it actually renders up. Looks like it's getting chopped a little bit. Because we're going to be using multiple scenes, this camera staying locked is absolutely critical. Okay, so yeah, no, it's about where we want it, really. I mean, it just looks different when it's not rendered. But let's just turn it back to this. Okay, what I want to do is I want to take this camera, I'm sorry, the motorboat, the little boat, and I want to move it this way and this way just a little bit to separate from her hand. And once that's done, I should be able to notice it a little bit more in the render And this fine-tuning stuff is, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but it actually makes the final image so much more interesting. Like, imagine if I went up here and put people on this Zeppelin, you know, which I hope to do. The more time you can take building these, the more impressive they are. But again, you have to have that locked off camera so you can use up all the memory filling up one part of the scene, dump that, or save that scene again, dump all the figures that are in it, and then fill up a different part, you know, and then you're just talking about Photoshop comping to a certain degree. But let's pre-render this now, just see what it looks like. Well, hello there. Please go to NVIDIA. Ah, weird. Some stuff is just not acting right. But it's, you know, it's because of the weight of the scene. And there's still things that I can take out of the scene that I'm going to take out of this scene. I can take out all these instances down here, and I'm about to actually use a lot of instances, and I know this, so I may actually go ahead and remove this. This probably is not very much weight, and it's just for positioning, so I know where not to put other things, you know. These look great though, gosh, those little figurines. Okay, so yeah, so I can see the boat, but I cannot see her, so that means the boat has to come over a bit toward land, and I can do this manually, I think. I'm actually okay if she's touching land like she's coming in. That's too far. That's a bridge too far. That's about right. Oh, then it got screwed up. I'm gonna let that settle. Just undo that. That's it right there. If it was, oh, it moved again. Let's just see how that was going to work out. So last night was Halloween, and I'm proud to say that Boo Fest that I've worked on so hard with the Better Baden folks did come off. However, it drizzled rain, and it got so cold no one watched the movie, so we ended up not showing the full movie. But everything else went off as planned. I am not liking how that looks. What the crap? What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off, pop in closer, and just kind of do this back and forth method to kind of get what I'm really going for here. So she needs to be ever so slightly, well, that's perfect really. I mean, it's just the, maybe if we rotate her a little bit different. It's absolutely touching the, it's a little low. Nope, yep. We do not want to see that water coming through, and it looks like we are. So that's it right there. Well, that's really literally splitting hairs, but okay. So now if we go back to main perspective, save this. I think we can preview again and hope to see something a little bit closer. So, let's see here. Get off of that. Hit this render. And video. Array. Anyway, Halloween was fun. Probably had about 500 kids or so come through, and talked to some really nice people. 3 of the volunteers came up with reasons not to come out and do what, you know, help out like they had said they would. That made it more difficult for the folks that were there. Not so much me, but other folks. It was cold. It went from 85 the day before Halloween to 55 and rainy, and it actually was 49 before I left. And I'm a person that cold doesn't bother that much, but I got my feet wet while I was, you know, we had to put the screen up in the rain, and that messed me up, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was really cold after that. Seems like there's a little bit of I'm not gonna adjust the Python in this scene so much, but it seems like there's a little bit of play that needs to be taken out of the head situation. But anyway, looks like we are back where we're in our good graces. She's actually hitting land right there. So now if I go down here and start putting people into this, a little figurines walking like it's a beach kind of. That's sort of what I'm going for here. So we are golden on that. I think we're okay. So let's go ahead and kind of go back to that area. So now what we're talking about is filling up this this little beach with guys and girls walking on this little walkway. Now I'm definitely going to be looking to do this with instances to save that bandwidth. So let's go look and see what kind of bikinis we have installed, and then think about what figure might be the lightest weight figure. Okay, so we do have chainmail for V4. It's a little bit too distinctive. Genesis bikini. Genesis is easy, that's for sure. X bikini. Let's see what we got here. V6, so that's G2. I do have a G2 character that I like a lot. So, I want to stay away from Genesis 9, it's too heavy. I'm not technically sure. Petite bikini, I'm not sure who that's for. I bet it would fit Genesis though. Let's see if we have Genesis actually fully installed. I'm just going to presume that Genesis is lighter than its predecessors. I mean, not predecessors, than its descendants. I'm sorry, I said that totally wrong. Genesis, I should, there we go. So let's just simply do a Genesis figure, Genesis basic female. Get our scale all sorted out and put them in a walking pose, you see, and then I can just scatter them out, you know. So let's do this. Let's bring them way up. That is not the load that I thought I was getting. I wanted to load this female. That's more what I was expecting right there. So poses. So a really generic walk is kind of what we're looking for here. So that is pretty good right there. We just want it to be kind of aimed up and down. And I want to mirror that pose actually so that they're looking at the side. Those tools work great. So there we go, boom. Now I want less of a pose and more of a walk position. There we go. Looking to the side is okay, but not too much of that. So now, let's go with our scale. Now, I believe it's going to be 2%, but we'll see. Let's see where we're at here. Boom. Ow. So that is too low. They are definitely below the ground there. Okay, here we go. Let's raise them up, get them in the right. Well, what the crap? Okay. So that position, general position, let's grab that. That's where we need to put on in case this throws it back. I want more of a generic walk pose than that. It's just, there's too much going on. Fashion. The whole twist in the head there is not what I want. Let's do this. Filter by context, poses. Take that off. And just go right here. By region, we want full body poses, and it should spit out all the things that are going to give me kind of poses that'll work with that particular base. Walking. We don't want part correction. Again, what we're looking for here is very generic walk. This is probably close enough, but I have a specific thing in mind here I'm going for. And we don't want to just let it go a different way. Okay, so walk with purpose. There we go. That's what we needed right there, folks. When you spent $40,000 on Dad's assets and, you know, basically 20 years, you have everything in your library. You just have to go. God bless them for making Connect, because I really do appreciate that product. So my old buddy Wayne Martell, aka Midnight Stories, made this figure. I'm going to try to sprinkle a lot of his work in here because I appreciate him, and it's always cool to have little homages in there. So cast off. Alright, so it's probably going to move her all over the place, but as long as this part... Actually, you know what? We'll just make this easy. Because it doesn't account for her scale. So we're going to go with that. And that. I realize you guys can't see it, but I'm pasting the X translate and the Z translate into a notepad. So that when this moves her, I can just... Oh, okay. Oh, that was perfect. It only changed the rotation. So, here we go. Now, what we're trying to do here, just to clue you in, is to create a variety of characters that are this character. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to load in a hair, a generic looking hair, and the Genesis bikini. And then I'm going to make instances. I'm going to probably create 10 instances of this figure. It's only costing me the geometry of the hair she has on, the bikini, the textures one time, and then the instances are just spitting around. This is how stonemason and other top artists make these ginormous sets that your small or slower computer will actually run. Pretty awesome, really. Okay. What's up? For some reason, fit to that did not fit automatically to Genesis. There we go. Bam. Emerald Lugosi. Bam. Yeah, that was weak. I don't know why it had to be that way. It seems like it should just. But these older generations act a little differently. So now wardrobe. I am partial to the red, white, and blue. So we are definitely going to go with a bottoms with that little pattern and a top with that little pattern. Mixed and matched. Or I don't know, maybe dark would look better. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. That's pretty generic. Now we go with hair. With this figure, filter by figure. Surely there will be hair already installed, but we will see. All products. Oh, duh. Here we go. Hair. Not my favorite Genesis hair. Let's see what we got here. Something fairly generic. We're going to be seeing it from the back. That's hair for Genesis. I'm not even worried about the fact that it's not, iRay. I could make it iRay, and then it would just be using that. Maybe I will. Let's see. Actual hair, Genesis. That's blonde. Do we want our girls to be blondes or brunettes? All 10 of these are going to be the same in form and what they're wearing and whatnot. So we got to kind of consider that. We want a simple hair. I kind of like this one. You know, my wife's Korean. I favor the dark-haired girls. I always have. So yeah, let's do that. Loading that in. Connect is running a little faster today than normal, which is great. You can't mess with my connection, y'all. I have like 450 Mbps up and down. So if anything's slow, it's somewhere else. It's not to do with my connection. When I get to the point of having to simulate or do anything that takes some time, I'm going to show you guys the video that I shot on my phone from last night to just, you know, make this somewhat less boring. So, potentials. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, let's pop back and look at it from on high. So obviously she is not even in the picture yet, but that's okay. We know where we're going. I don't know where I'm going, but I do know where I'm going. There we go. So not that. Go here. Wow, we are not even in the picture yet. You just really lose perspective when you get down that small. Okay, there we go. Now, every one of these has to be positioned in such a way that it's actually on the screen. So now, before we get into duplicating these, I'm going to just click off of her, and I see that she's right there at 2%. Now, let's go look at our girl that's in the boat. I think she's at 5%, and I think 5% would work for this figure, but I just got to make sure. So Maggie Raider is at a scale of, wait a minute. That can't be right. Show how the boat. 5%. Okay, so let's go here and let's make Genesis 5%. She's 2% now. Let's go 5%. Boom. Let's get in tight. Make sure she's lined up correctly. There we have it. Alright, go back here. Click off that figure, do a little test where she's actually previs. Let me save this because I feel like that's where we need to be. Pre-render action here. Don't do breakfast every day, but today had the old meat lovers omelet, and it was delish. Because I gotta go feed my chickens and unload all of my gear from the Bait and Boo first annual Boo Fest. Okay, that's perfect. She is exactly where she needs to be. Now what I'm going to do is duplicate her 10 times and spread her out. Some of them are going to be walking back this way, some are going to be walking that way. But 10 of them, as long as I move them forward from there, they're going to be great. And I'm going to do the same with a male figure too, so it's like a couple kind of walking together is what I'm going for. And you know, when we actually render this, and I can put quite a few of these on here without suffering any kind of loss. And one thing I may do is end up turning the Steam Nemesis off, because he looks like he's overwatching the public area. And actually, you know, he can be moved too. The reason he's that far forward is because there were characters here that blocked him out if I put him back further. But anyway, let's get on with that work, and let's turn this off and start going in, doing that deep work here. Now, I don't have to do this, but because I might get a shot later of their faces, I want to go ahead and give them a nice expression. And that's just going to be, ooh, not many expressions to choose from, huh? Let's see if we have products. Expression. Oh yeah, cool. Oh, Expression Mixer is awesome, by the way. It works on several of the Genesis. Use that a lot. just because I might do a zoom in of some of these just to show the perspective from different angles. That's one of the fun things about, once you build this multi-figure, you've got like a dozen renders you can make off of it, or however many you want, really. And it'll all highlight the set and how complete and circular it is and how encompassing it is. It'll all highlight that, so it'll just be a cool thing to have these little cameras set up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give her this expression. So she's chit-chatting. Too much. Currently used. I'd love to get the whole. Some of these don't. Oh, mouth is too wide, that's for sure. All this moves way faster now. That's fine. We can deal with that for sure. Let's have her kind of looking up. Instead of like falling down. Aging morph, no. Let's see here. Actor. Genesis was so designed to be just everything, and so you don't have a lot of the same stuff that you would have on the following generations. You know, like I know what to expect when I go to torso, but this doesn't even have an isolated chest, so that's not super surprising. Upper body. Nope. 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 Basic female. Doesn't have any kind of a voluptuous female. I thought I would get into that before we actually. I can make her a werewolf because I have a werewolf morph in here, one of mine, called Wolf and Enhanced. Check this out. Whoa! Anyway, all right. So let's get on with it. We got her smiling, and we're now going to make instances. I'm going to go with 10 instances of her. So I have her selected, so everything is attached to her. Create should go new node instances, and we're going to go with 10. Show options. Copy item selected. Yes, of course. Boom. Now. I have an idea. I'm going to do something right here and see. We're just going to go. So she's the boss. She's the original. And if I create a go-to pose, it would put them all kind of on the same track and direction as her. I'm just going to make a pose and just call it go to Genesis Walker. Go to, can't spell, go to, boom. Exactly there. Okay. And then I'm going to grab an instance and see if it will actually do it, anything to it. So now it should be, this did not work. Did not work, okay. So I think what I need to do is grab this, go here, paste that in. You know what? This is weird because it's like, I don't know that I did anything. I don't see a single thing happening here. Let's try this again. Maybe I did it wrong. So let's go create new node instances. Yep, apply default settings there. I don't know why it messed it up before, but it did. So now maybe I can do this. Let's try this. Yep, that worked. Do that. Now you guys are getting the plot, huh? Figuring this out. Now we want the rest of them to be coming the other way. So what I want to do is just take them on down to the other end. Ooh, they are all in different locations. That sucks. It's fixable, but I would never have expected that to be something that happened. Maybe this will be solved because what I'm going to do with this guy is, you know, I'm not saving the base pose on the actual base Genesis. I'm saving it on an instance. So possibly once I turn him around, we can. Weird. What the garbage? Oh, this is so strange. Okay, so the dimensions have sort of gotten screwed around. The values have gotten screwed around a little bit. Let's get this just so. -90. All right, let's do this again. Instance, pose preset, instance, go to. Okay, now if we go to instance 6 and we apply this instance go to, okay, that seemed to work. All right, that worked. We can sort the others out next. But now they'll be like, you know, walking in both directions. Then Instance 8, instance go to. Instance 8, whoa. Well, cold today, guys. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with a male version of Genesis, and that's all relatively low memory requirement. I'm going to retool here to download a few things, and while I do that, I'm going to put you guys over to my YouTube channel, turn the music up a little bit, and I will just let you watch some stuff starting with last night's Spoof Fest. Pardon the slow-mo there in some cases. There's my nephew and his wife and their daughter. Unfortunately, Harley, the little girl, got sick at the coffee shop right after this, and I mean, she puked. You see, she's not super happy right there. It's rainy and cold, too. Here's my daughter and granddaughter. All in Michael 5. That's garbage. At this point, I have created a mail, which is based on the Micro 5, with briefs on, since this is like a beach kind of scene. Now, he could be walking with her and kind of thing. But you know, since I think I am gonna go with. Oh, there's no flipping. That sucks. So what kind of walking poses he's got included here? This is fine. Slightly different pose than what he was already in, but there's no shirt, so I'm not gonna go. See if we can just find a shirt that'll fit him from the base wardrobe. There's probably a shirt in here. Tank. Let's go with the tank. You just got to think this combination. Well, see, that time I did not have to. I didn't have to do the fit to scenario, but nope. T-shirt, tank. Tankini. It looks pretty wimpy. I'm going to get rid of that. Now, t-shirt. Go back to the materials, wardrobe. There should be something. You don't want to be you want to be generic enough that it's not super noticeable. And all they seem to have here is that. Which is, I don't want everybody to have a green tee, so I may just go in here and manually adjust the color a little bit and see what happens. The black tee is going to be real noticeable too. How about kind of a seems like it doesn't do anything if you're not like absolutely white. Okay, whatever. We're gonna roll with that. Because now you know what I have to do. Make instances of him. So let's do that. Now he's gonna be the main man and she's the main girl, so that's why they're positioned thusly. So create new instances, 10, this is called this male instances to make it clear. Okay, accept. Now I'm going to grab the first instance, put him where he needs to be. I will not be making the same mistake that I did last time. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get that much. Let me just zoom in here and make sure his feet are where they need to be, because sometimes the instances load weird like that. Yep, see, he's a little bit, and then that might be with the original too. I need to double check that. Let's see here. Make sure he's where he needs to be. Nope, he was not. Hence all of the instances not being right. But anyway, we got number 1 instance correct. So what we're going to do now is just create a pose called male instance. And that should start us on the same plane. These are shortcuts that occur to me. I don't know if it makes sense to anyone else, but in my case, it's a time saver. So what I'll do is get this high view, and then I'll just kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with adding that there. And then once he's there, I know I'll just have to move it up. Move him over maybe a bit. Now, number 5 is going to be the last one on this end, so we will just put him kind of up here. Now we'll take number 6 and we'll go to the opposite end once we have him, and he'll be walking back the other way. We're going to make a pose from that too to kind of start the process, if you will. So he has to turn around. Save pose there. Male instance 2. Okay. Speeds all this up significantly having that go-to pose, I'm telling you. So then So there we've got 20 figures for the cost of 2 figures. So that's pretty cool. I think that works. little more noticeable from this angle, but we're not rendering it from this angle, so really kind of works. Look at that. Completely by surprise, so you'll have all these other little I think this guy, though, is going to need to be moved a little bit. Because they're just too close together. Hello, sailor. Well, guys, we're coming up on an hour for this stream. I think what I'm going to do next is actually go ahead and render this as part 2, combine it with part 1, so you guys can start to see how the concepts come together. Even though this is not finished, there's going to be dogs running up and down this thing and more figures and maybe a little kid playing or something just to kind of break it up. But this is in a nutshell how you do the massive multi-figure images. So actually I think I will go back to the original camera, which was this one. Yeah. Now we'll call this part 2. Set this render up. And on the deck, 2, part 2. So for now, I'm just doing these at like 13-minute renders. But if I have it, this is set for like 3 hours, I think, and it won't render it that long, even though I tell it to, because it finishes it. But anyway, because it's bright lighting. But I digress. I'm going to run this render right now, and maybe I'll be back later today, maybe I won't, maybe another day, who knows. But hope you guys have enjoyed watching, and we'll just keep on going with this thing until we have hundreds and hundreds of figures rendered in the same light and in the same world. It's going to be a crazy piece. I'm excited about it. I'm going to make a poster out of this if it turns out as good as I think it will. This could be my new hobby. Instead of buying stuff, I just make these massive multi-figure images and put them on shirts and posters and whatnot, and I don't have to spend $200 a month on gas. But we'll see. That's kind of the point of embargo. I know one thing, it has made me more creative, getting out of the habit of going every day and just buy, you know, until I exhaust my fundage. A lot of people complain about that. I've been lucky. I've had more free money than most for this stuff. But I really wish I'd spent it on guitars or tangible items, or just saved it. You know, that's a novel idea, right? But I think we're ready to run this render, and we'll see how it goes. And I'll just come back when I can, come back to it when I can. It's kind of fun. You know, it's a meditative process. I don't have to sell anybody on this. I know what it feels like to me, and it's really good for clearing your mind of stress. At least in my case, I don't always have as much time to put on it, but today I did. I'm thankful for it. So have a great day. Hope you guys had a great Halloween, and have a great day. I'll be back when I'm back.